We have always said it is about the children. It's not just about me. Never just made it about me. I'm just the loudest one.
Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and they arrest him. They arrest a guy who came to New York to turn himself in.
Sean Diddy Combs' world is unraveling, and the revelations are more shocking than anyone could have imagined. The once celebrated music mogul is now at the center of one of the most scandalous legal battles in recent memory, with allegations spanning decades, involving hundreds of accusers, and implicating some of the most powerful names in the entertainment industry. The fallout is nothing short of catastrophic. This isn't just another Hollywood scandal. It's a reckoning. If you thought you'd heard everything about Diddy, think again. What's emerging now is horrifying, and it's sending shockwaves through the industry.
This morning, watch how federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others.
Let's start with the latest blow. New allegations that paint a picture far darker than anyone could have anticipated. According to attorney Tony Busby, who represents over 100 individuals accusing Diddy of misconduct, the accusations include acts that are not only morally reprehensible, but outright criminal. Among the accusers is a minor, whose story has left even the most jaded observers stunned. Busby claims the boy was lured to a studio under the pretense of an audition at Bad Boy Records, Diddy's iconic label. What was promised to be a step toward stardom allegedly turned into something far more sinister. And this is just one of many horrifying accounts that have surfaced. The allegations are relentless. They span decades from the early 1990s to as recently as this year, painting a picture of someone who allegedly abused their power for personal gain while hiding behind a veil of glamour and success. But what's even more damning is the sheer scale of the accusations. Busby says his firm has been contacted by over 3,000 individuals claiming to be victims or witnesses, with 120 cases already vetted and set to move forward in court. These aren't just isolated incidents. This is a pattern, a web of manipulation and control that allegedly spans decades.
We all saw it posted yesterday all over our social media pages. Cassie filed a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy.
Yikes.
She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse.
The details coming out are beyond disturbing. Victims describe being invited to lavish parties under the guise of professional opportunities, only to find themselves in situations where they felt powerless. One account tells of a young woman, just 26 at the time, who claimed she was picked up from an airport by Diddy and his associates, given a drink, and later woke up in pain, disoriented, and unsure of what had happened. Others recount being coerced into private meetings or auditions, only to find themselves trapped in deeply uncomfortable and degrading situations. The common thread in these stories? A promise of opportunity that quickly turned into a nightmare.
That he controlled every aspect of her life. He is accused of frequently beating her and would hide her in hotel rooms for days until the bruising and signs of abuse were gone.
And then there are the so-called elite parties. These events, long whispered about in industry circles, are alleged to have been far from the glamorous gatherings they appeared to be on the surface. According to Busby and several accusers, these parties served as hunting grounds where Diddy and a select group of powerful individuals allegedly preyed on the vulnerable. The stories paint a chilling picture of manipulation and coercion, where attendees were given drinks that left them incapacitated. One victim described waking up with no memory of what had happened, but with physical signs of mistreatment. Another recounted being pressured to perform acts they couldn't refuse, fearing the consequences to their careers or even their safety.
And I remember, I don't know if you know what his voice sounds like, but I felt like I was in the presence of his monster inside.
What's even more shocking is how this alleged behavior was reportedly enabled by those around him. Busby claims that banks, hotels, and even pharmaceutical companies played roles in facilitating or covering up these crimes. It's not just Diddy who's under fire. This could be the beginning of a domino effect that topples an entire network of enablers. The day will come when we name names, Busby said during a recent press conference. And it's a long list already.
Do you believe Diddy is a dangerous person?
Yes.
This isn't the first time Diddy has faced accusations, but what sets this apart is the sheer volume and intensity of the claims. In the past, Diddy had a reputation for settling lawsuits quietly, using his immense wealth and influence to make problems disappear. But this time, things are different. Federal authorities have stepped in, and the investigation is massive. The FBI is reportedly working alongside other agencies to piece together a case that spans multiple states and involves thousands of pieces of evidence, including texts, videos, and eyewitness accounts. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about exposing a culture of abuse and corruption that has been allowed to fester for far too long.
You know, I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now.
The charges against him are staggering. Racketeering, exploitation, and trafficking are just the tip of the iceberg. The indictment alleges that Diddy used his business empire not only as a front for his alleged crimes, but also as a tool to recruit and control his victims. From his record label to his fashion line, his media ventures to his personal brand, everything was allegedly part of a calculated effort to maintain power and silence those who dared to speak out. Prosecutors claim Diddy orchestrated a coordinated campaign to lure victims using promises of fame and fortune to manipulate them into compliance.
And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
But perhaps the most chilling aspect of this case is the systemic nature of the alleged abuse. Victims describe a well-oiled machine designed to entrap them, with every detail meticulously planned. From the moment they arrived at auditions or parties, they were allegedly subjected to a series of calculated steps intended to break down their defenses. Drinks were reportedly spiked, rooms were prepared, and high-profile attendees were strategically placed to give the events an air of legitimacy. One victim described it as a trap carefully set and impossible to escape.
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those two raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
What's even more troubling is the implication that others in the industry knew what was happening and did nothing to stop it. Busby has hinted that numerous celebrities, executives, and even politicians could be implicated as the case unfolds. This isn't just about one man, he said. It's about an entire system that allowed this to happen. Speculation is already swirling about who might be named next, with some of the biggest names in Hollywood and the music industry rumored to be involved. The question isn't just who knew, it's who participated.
The issue is, it seems as though he wants to kind of like exert power and dominance over people who don't really want it.
The fallout has already begun. Several celebrities who were once closely associated with Diddy have distanced themselves in the wake of his arrest. Usher, who famously lived with Diddy as a teenager, recently deleted a series of social media posts referencing their time together. Megan Fox and Pink have also wiped their accounts clean, fueling speculation about their connections to the mogul. And then there's the so-called list, a rumored roster of high-profile names allegedly linked to Diddy's infamous gatherings. While no one on the list has been officially implicated, the mere association is damaging enough in a post-Weinstein world. The internet has been buzzing with theories about who might be next to fall. Some have drawn parallels to Jeffrey Epstein's infamous network, noting the similarities in how both men allegedly used their wealth and influence to exploit the vulnerable. One law enforcement official even described Diddy as just as bad, if not worse, citing the sheer scale of the allegations. The case has also reignited conversations about accountability in the entertainment industry. For years, rumors about Diddy's parties circulated in tabloids and on gossip sites, but they were often dismissed as exaggerations or baseless speculation. Now, those rumors are being re-examined in a new light, and the revelations are sending shockwaves through Hollywood. How many other powerful figures have used their influence to silence victims? And how many more victims are out there still too afraid to come forward?
That's not the issue. The issue is, it seems as though he wants to kind of like exert power and dominance over people who don't really want it.
What's clear is that this case is far from over. With new allegations emerging almost daily, the story is growing bigger and more complex by the minute. The legal battle ahead will undoubtedly be one of the most closely watched in recent history, with implications that could reshape the industry as we know it. For Diddy, the stakes couldn't be higher. His career, his legacy, and his freedom are all on the line. But for the alleged victims, this is about something far more important. It's about justice.
Problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We shall see. These are allegations.
As the investigation deepens and more details come to light, one thing is certain. This is a watershed moment. The walls are closing in, and the truth is finally coming to the surface. The question now is, who else will be caught in the fallout? And what will it take for the entertainment industry to finally confront its darkest secrets? Stay tuned, because this story is only just beginning.
Now you got the Diddy situation where he jumps on a private jet, they say yesterday, and is on his way to the Cape Verde Islands.
The story of Sean Diddy Combs takes another dark and twisted turn when you dive into the long-standing history of allegations that now seem like ominous breadcrumbs leading to this massive fallout. For years, whispers of misconduct, exploitation, and manipulation have been swirling around Diddy's name, but it's only now that the full picture is coming into focus. And let's be clear, this isn't just about a series of isolated events or bad decisions. What's being revealed is a calculated pattern of behavior that reportedly spans decades and involves some of the most powerful people in Hollywood and beyond. How did someone so beloved and admired by millions allegedly build and maintain an empire that many now claim was rooted in control, fear, and secrecy?
Well, either way, if you got to run to a private island because your evil doings are doing so much and they storming your house, it's one of these.
Diddy, once hailed as a visionary in music, fashion, and business, is now being described by some insiders as the architect of a secretive and disturbing world of exploitation. The allegations go far beyond personal misconduct. What's emerging is a narrative that suggests Diddy didn't just use his influence to climb to the top. He allegedly wielded it like a weapon, creating an environment where he could act without consequences. His empire, from Bad Boy Records to his clothing line and even his television ventures, wasn't just about building his brand. It was reportedly used as a facade for something far more troubling.
That this is the end of the Diddy story as we know it.
Let's talk about the parties. These weren't just any parties. They were legendary. Lavish gatherings with exclusive guest lists, held in sprawling mansions or luxury yachts, with the biggest names in the world in attendance. Diddy's infamous white parties, for example, were the stuff of legend. Celebrities like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, and even royalty like Prince Harry were reportedly regular attendees. These events were seen as the pinnacle of Hollywood glamour, but according to emerging accounts, behind the glittering facade was something far more sinister. These weren't just parties. They were allegedly carefully orchestrated operations designed to manipulate and trap vulnerable individuals. Insiders have described these gatherings as a two-faced operation. On the surface, you had the A-listers sipping champagne, posing for photos, and enjoying gourmet food. But behind the scenes, there were reportedly private rooms, hidden cameras, and tightly controlled environments where attendees were pressured into compromising situations. Some victims have claimed they were invited to these events under the pretense of networking or career opportunities, only to find themselves in situations where they felt they had no choice but to comply with the demands of the host and his inner circle. And what's even more shocking, allegations suggest that some of the biggest names in Hollywood knew what was happening, or at the very least turned a blind eye.
Someone said that they weren't there to take stuff, they were there to delete everything. Like the real people that were in there, you know.
Oh,
like
that's
the same
funny.
thing with Epstein.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
One source close to the investigation described these parties as a trap. Victims were allegedly given special drinks and ushered into secluded areas. Once there, they were reportedly coerced into actions they later regretted. One accuser claimed that after attending one of these events, she woke up with no memory of what had happened, but with clear signs that something was very wrong. Another described being pressured to perform tasks she felt she couldn't refuse, fearing that saying no would mean the end of her career. And while Diddy is at the center of these allegations, sources indicate that he wasn't acting alone. Witnesses have hinted that other high-profile figures not only participated, but actively helped orchestrate these events.
That's of course. There's layers upon layers. When you get into these conspiracy theories, man, they never end. They never end. There's just layers upon layers upon layers.
But the real bombshell, it's the claim that these parties were about more than just indulgence. They were allegedly part of a larger system designed to collect leverage over powerful people. According to rumors circulating in the entertainment world, Diddy reportedly used hidden cameras to gather compromising material on his guests. The footage was then allegedly used to keep people in check, ensuring their silence and compliance. One insider described it as a game of power and control. The more leverage he had over someone, the more untouchable he became.
Well, if he really was filming everybody, I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right?
And that brings us to the so-called Diddy list. In the wake of his arrest, social media has exploded with speculation about the names of celebrities who might be implicated in this scandal. It's being compared to the infamous Black Book from the Epstein case, a list of powerful individuals who allegedly attended these questionable events. While no one on the list has been officially implicated, the mere association is enough to send shockwaves through Hollywood. Some of the names being floated include Leonardo DiCaprio, Ashton Kutcher, and even Justin Bieber. While there's no evidence to suggest these individuals were involved in any wrongdoing, their presence at Diddy's events has raised eyebrows. The fallout has been swift. Usher, who famously lived with Diddy as a teenager while launching his career, recently deleted multiple posts referencing their time together. Megan Fox and Pink have also scrubbed their social media accounts, fueling speculation about their connections to the mogul. And then there's the resurfaced clip of Khloe Kardashian describing one of Diddy's parties as wild and out of control. While she didn't go into detail, her comments have taken on new meaning in light of the recent allegations.
And let me tell you something else. Not only should he have apologized to Cassie in that video, he should have apologized to all of the general public that he lied to.
But if you think this is just about parties, think again. The accusations against Diddy go much deeper, painting a picture of someone who allegedly used his power to manipulate not just individuals, but entire systems. According to attorney Tony Busby, Diddy's influence extended far beyond the entertainment industry. Banks, hotels, and even pharmaceutical companies are being accused of playing roles in facilitating or covering up his actions. Busby has hinted that the lawsuits he's preparing will name names that will shock you. This isn't just about one man. It's about an entire network of enablers who allegedly helped him maintain his power for decades.
Clearly, there is a criminal investigation underway, and that they believe that there would be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes.
And let's not forget the corporate side of Diddy's empire. From his record label to his clothing line to his media ventures, everything was reportedly part of a carefully constructed image designed to mask what was really going on. Bad Boy Records, once considered a beacon of success in the music industry, is now being scrutinized for its role in allegedly enabling these behaviors. Some former employees have come forward with claims that they were pressured to stay silent about what they saw, fearing retaliation if they spoke out. One former employee described the environment as toxic and terrifying. According to their account, anyone who questioned Diddy's actions was quickly silenced, either through intimidation or financial incentives. It was like walking on eggshells, they said. Everyone knew what was going on, but no one dared to say anything. And it wasn't just employees who were affected. Several aspiring artists who worked with Bad Boy Records have come forward with stories of being manipulated and taken advantage of, all under the guise of launching their careers.
Clients describe NBC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in.
What's particularly chilling about these allegations is the way Diddy reportedly used his power to create an environment where victims felt they had no choice but to comply. Whether it was through promises of fame, threats of retaliation, or simply the sheer weight of his influence, he allegedly made it nearly impossible for people to say no. And even when victims tried to speak out, they were often met with disbelief or outright hostility. He was untouchable, one accuser said. People didn't want to believe he could do something like this.
Now, if the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being, they have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
But now, the tide is turning. The investigation into Diddy's actions has opened the floodgates, and more people are coming forward with their stories. The lawsuits being prepared by Tony Busby and other attorneys are expected to be some of the most explosive in recent history, with implications that could reach the highest levels of the entertainment industry. And while Diddy's legal team has dismissed the allegations as a reckless media circus, the sheer volume of accusations is impossible to ignore. As the walls close in on Diddy, the question isn't just what will happen to him. It's what this means for the industry as a whole. How many other powerful figures have used their influence in similar ways? How many more victims are out there still too afraid to come forward? And perhaps most importantly, will this finally be the moment when Hollywood starts to hold its most powerful players accountable?
There has been some updates in the Diddy $100 million default judgment that we reported on earlier this week.
What's clear is that this isn't just a story about one man. It's about an entire system that allowed him to operate unchecked for decades. The allegations against Diddy are a wake-up call, not just for the entertainment industry, but for anyone who has ever looked the other way in the face of abuse. As the investigation continues and more details come to light, one thing is certain. This story is far from over, and the ripple effects are going to be felt for a long, long time.
And when you see, there's no artist, let me be clear, there's no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms.
And now that you've heard the shocking details of Diddy's alleged misconduct, we want to know, do you think other celebrities who attended his parties should also be held accountable? And how far do you think this scandal will reach within the entertainment industry? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more celebrity news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.